What's going on, you guys? It's your boy Rob James coming at you with another video. And here lately, I've been putting out videos on how to get better at Modern Warfare, and that is just in spite of everything that I'm going to talk about today. Now, I don't want to be that guy that's just sitting over here faking for you guys. I don't want to come off as some kind of yes man. I got to be dead honest with you guys. Now, in the past, I said that I wasn't going to talk about what made the game bad. Because like I said, my criticisms would pretty much be aligned with everyone else's criticisms, but I've got to get this out the way because I can't hide it no more. If I'm going to make these videos about how to get better at Modern Warfare, I'm also going to put out a video on what I do not like about this game. So stay with me, just indulge with me right quick, but I've got to get this off my chest. If you find yourself as frustrated as I am and you enjoy the content that I'm putting out, please, once again, feel free to hit that subscribe button if you are brand new to the channel and turn on all post notifications for future content if you find yourself coming back to this channel. If you're already subscribed, go ahead and drop a like on this video and I'll go ahead and get into it. Now, I'm not going to spend the duration of this video griping about camping because let's be real with ourselves. Camping, if you've played Call of Duty for some years now, then you know that camping is here to stay. It's not going anywhere. Camping is a preferred playstyle among certain players. So if people are going to camp, they're going to camp. I have nothing against that. That's just another playstyle to deal with. What I have a problem with is how the game encourages nothing but camping and punishes those of us that prefer to not camp, the aggressive players, those of us that have also been around for as long as the campers. Modern Warfare has taken this theme of what I like to call camp or die. It's pretty common sense here. If you step out in the open, somebody is out there with a full ADS in a dark corner or just in a building with their weapons mounted waiting to pick your head off. So the aggressive play style has pretty much been eliminated in this game. The game as it currently stands pretty much harms those of us that prefer to run and gun. No matter how reckless or how tactically we do it, we will be punished. And it's kind of a contradiction from an article that I read a while back where Infinity Ward said that they were going to cater to all playstyles and not just campers, but with all of the mechanics of the game and all of the features, we pretty much see that anything other than camping is a huge negative to bring to any of the multiplayer matches. Now, I would like to touch on everyone's favorite criticism of the game because it's one of mine as well. And that is the poor map design. Infinity Ward wants to go ahead and stray away from the traditional 3-lane maps and give us maps with millions and millions of sightlines, which is kind of ridiculous considering that they want to cater to a casual audience and then create a game that casual players can feel good at. And I think it's the stupidest thing in the world. I'm sorry. So what you're doing here when you're creating these maps that have millions and millions of sightlines, what you do is you cause people to overanalyze the situation. And that's pretty much what I've been doing since this game got started. One of my tips at getting better for this game was using the compass, since the mini-map is pretty much useless unless you have a UAV up. But even then, the compass doesn't give us enough information to determine where we should go, where our enemies are at, things like that. The compass is more complex than it seems. It looks pretty simple when you look up at it, but it's more complex than need be. I don't think that it really serves a true purpose because at the end of the day, we don't have any, traditional sense of where our enemies are going to be at. So, and then also with these poorly designed maps, people that are experienced campers at Call of Duty, now you pretty much nerf them or buff them rather times 10. These guys they come off as just so much better at the game. And the thing is, they don't even have to move for all of 10 minutes. The maps, they make the gameplay so random that a camper, where back in the day, that camper would just sit in one room, but they would have to move to another spot because they know that their positioning has been compromised. Now they can legit sit in maybe one or two rooms within footsteps of one another the entire game because they're so easy to lock down. And us that play aggressive, we're unsuspecting of it, and they're pretty much just sitting back there and they will be working up kill streaks, just camping it out. And I mean, it's frustrating. They designed these maps with the lesser skilled player in mind. Now, I would save a point like this for the end of the video, but I want to make it now. If you are going to sit here and flat out cater to lesser skilled players, The reason I think it's stupid is because I remember when I first started playing Call of Duty full time, it was Modern Warfare 2. I pretty much dabbled into everything else beforehand because I was still a Halo player. I was getting smacked, bruh. Like, I'm talking about, I would jump into matches and these folks are just having my way with, or having their way with me. But what did I do over the years? I eventually got better at the game by continuing to play it. Some of us didn't have the luxury of being catered to right out the bat. We had to deal with skilled players right out the bat. We had to get flexed on. We had to get pushed around. We had to get little boyed by these people that are pretty much the big boys of Call of Duty until we learned how to get better at the game. So don't sit here and give these newer players a crutch. They got to earn their keep just like we had to. And don't even get me started on these weapon attachments, but I'm going to get started on them anyway. I hate that a lot of the attachments of these weapons, they also discourage you from playing run and gun. The weapon attachments, they have the pros and the cons this year, and a lot of those cons, they take away the necessities of what makes an aggressive player. They take away a lot of the ADS speed, they take away a lot of the aiming stability, and so you can't really snap onto your target as fast if you're running around the maps and all this whole other stuff. And I mean, that is just terrible. I'm like, bro, are you serious? So every time I went to my weapons customization, every time I went to the gunsmith and tried to find some attachments to try to make myself an effective run and gun player, because one of my video ideas was trying to find a way to run and gun. There essentially is no way to. A lot of you guys are probably going to come up here talking about, oh, well, I run and gun and I do just fine and yada, yada, yada. I got something for you guys later on in the video. You just stay tuned because I wanted to address you guys directly. And I also wanted to address those of you that talk about, oh, well, just slow it down, just watch your corners, things like that. Look, man, I do all of that. The problem is I'm an aggressive player. I don't want to play that way. You know, the Call of Duties of the past 4 or 5 years, you know, they catered towards an aggressive market, but guess what? They didn't do anything to nerf campers. I mean, hell, look at Black Ops 4. They got torque. You know, what's the purpose of torque? So don't sit here and tell me how I should play when it's a playstyle that I don't find attractive. It's not a playstyle that I enjoy. I can do that. I can do that just fine. You know, I posted some gameplay here where I'm more than capable of holding my own, but the problem is that stuff gets boring because that doesn't appeal to me. But don't worry, all of you guys that, you know, that are contrarians, I got a little something for y'all. Y'all just stay to the end of the video. But yeah, the weapon attachments, they're terrible. You know, it's another thing that takes away from the aggressive play style. And I want to go ahead and get into the mini map. Now, this is crazy, man. So there's this old saying, and it goes, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So why in the hell did Infinity Ward take it upon themselves to completely rework the minimap? Now, the minimap wasn't even available at all to us at first on the beta, and Infinity Ward eventually caved because enough people complained about it on Twitter. They gave us a minimap for the rest of the beta's run. But of course, there was a caveat to that. People can still shoot unsuppressed weapons and they will not come up on the radar. And this is another thing that ties into these campers being buffed times 10. I think it's stupid, especially given the poor map design. On maps like these that are just so cluttered, that have millions and millions of lanes and make for random chaos, it is vital that we have a traditional mini map. You know, these guys, they're sitting over here. The camper can literally now just sit in one spot the entire 10-minute match. They don't have to worry about moving because they know nobody's going to find them. We have no context as to where shots are coming from. Everything is so randomized. I mean, if you look at your kill cams, right? I know some of you guys got those kill cams, or you got a camper. Like, he is buried so deep in a corner. Like, he just waxed you, right? And you have no way to engage him. You know, with this man, he had to jump on you from the get-go. The only part of him that was sticking out was the nameplate. The rest of his body was tucked in between the crack of a door somewhere. Like, that is beyond me. If these guys are going to shoot, make them come up on a mini map. So that way we know, okay, well, this is where that person is. We got two choices. We can either run up there and we can crack his skull, or we can just leave him to somebody else. You know, that's the type of stuff that we need, us core gamers. And so that was frustrating, man. The mini map, yeah, that needs to be completely reworked. Honestly, that should be one of the first things that gets taken care of if they're going to make any hot fixes. And then you got footsteps being heard from Pluto. I don't know whose idea that was. I can't sit here and try to engage or sneak up or flank somebody when my footsteps sound like angry elephants walking on cars. Like, who? Were the footsteps even this loud in the beta? Because I had more successful flanks in the beta than I had in the full game. You know, I know that these guys, they buffed the dead silence. What is it? Field upgrade? That should have been a perk, honestly. You know, dead silence was a crutch for me in Black Ops 4 because of all the people running acoustic sensor. And it should be a perk in this game, not a field upgrade. And then the duration should be longer than what they make it. I mean, I know it resets after every kill, but I still feel like they should make it longer, especially with the time it takes to, you know, get to somebody to engage with them. It's just stupid, man. Look, I'm sorry if it sounds like I'm whining, but bro, I'm so frustrated. Like, whose idea was it to make, like, who all asked for this? Like, let's be real. Who all wanted this? I get that these guys are trying to be innovative, but innovative to the point where you just basically recreate the whole game. It doesn't even feel like a traditional Call of Duty game anymore. It's not. If anybody feels like this, then you are smoking something, but this is not a traditional Call of Duty game. And as a man of my word, I'm going to address all of you that have attempted to find good in the game. You know, all of you guys that are contrarians that just want to be trolls talking about, oh, maybe you just suck, get good. Just peek around the corners, play slower, this and that, or, oh, I have good matches, I run a gun and I do this and that. You don't have any substantial proof of your gameplay, number one. You know, hit me up on my Twitter, all right? My Twitter is posted in the description box. Hit me on my Twitter DMs with your gameplay of you just going beast mode, running gun. I want to see that. Prove me wrong. But I'm going to help you guys stop lying, okay? For most of you contrarians. Now, if it don't apply, let it fly. But to all of you other contrarians, look, just be real with yourselves. You are forcing yourselves to like this game. Yes, I said it. You're forcing yourselves to like it. Don't worry, I'm guilty of it too. But like I said, I can admit when I'm wrong. The reason why you guys are forcing yourselves to like the game, because I can't tell you how many comments I've seen on other YouTube videos or in Twitter feeds saying, well, at least it's not Advanced Warfare, or at least it's not Infinite Warfare, at least it's not Black Ops 3, yada yada yada. You know what all this has in common? Because we know that for the past 4 or 5 years or so, Call of Duty has gone futuristic and they gave us the advanced movement system. So if you're going to end your comment with, well, at least it's not that particular futuristic Call of Duty, then you're forcing yourself to like the game. That's, keep in mind, some of you guys are the same exact people that had the most to say about Call of Duty Ghosts. 5 years ago, you guys criticized that game into the ground. Modern Warfare is almost made in Ghost likeness, albeit with worse features. You know, you sit here, you criticize Ghost, but then you're going to talk about how much you like this game because at least it's not a futuristic Call of Duty. Dude, let's be real, okay? Ever since gaming has transitioned to 8th generation, we've only had one decent Call of Duty come out, and that was Black Ops 3. That is probably the greatest Call of Duty of this generation. Yes, I know it had the advanced movement system that a lot of you older players like myself hated, but the game was solid. Everything else, it feels like Call of Duty has just gone downhill. They have yet to consistently make decent games this generation. Meanwhile, we've got a whole bunch of classics on 7th generation consoles that we're sitting over here dying or even requesting to be remastered. You know, let's just be honest with ourselves. Infinity Ward, they missed with Infinite Warfare. I mean, I kind of enjoyed Infinite Warfare. I kind of defended, but ultimately they missed with that one. They missed with Ghosts, even though I played that game religiously, and I will go back and play that before I play this. And they missed the mark with Modern Warfare. Yes, I know you guys are excited that the game went back to a modern setting, but be real with yourselves. The game could have been better, and it's not. The game is, as it stands now, it's bad. I'm not going to say, oh, this game is just trash. The game is bad. The game is still early. You know, it's still barely out, so there's time to fix it. But it's just a matter of, will Infinity Ward fix it? Or are they just going to be stubborn and just stick to what we already have? You know, I would like to see how this game plays out in competitive. I know a lot of those competitive players, they're very, very aggressive, but the way that these guys play the game, it goes against the game's design as it currently stands. Now, I could sit here and talk about what fixes need to be made, but I've already spent about 15 minutes on this just griping about the game anyway. So I'll leave it to you guys. The comment section is open. You know, what is it that you guys hate the most that I haven't touched on about this game? And what could be better? You know, let's make our voices heard. You know, we've already got hashtags on Twitter going out saying flip the switch because we want a traditional mini map. But what are some of the things that can make this game better? I'm not going to talk about what can make this game better. I will probably save that for another video because I don't want this video as it stands being extra long itself. So I'll leave it to you guys. I'm going to leave it at this right here. I'm going to shut it down right here. I just wanted to get that off my chest. I will continue my series on how to get better at Modern Warfare in spite of its current problems. You know, I'm not going to give up on it because I want to say to myself that eventually those fixes are coming. So without saying, if you did enjoy the video, feel free to like. If you're brand new to the channel, hit subscribe, turn on all post notifications. That is your boy Rob James. I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.